They say hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. But what they don't tell you is what happens when that woman holds the keys to everything you own. My name is Shede Okafor, and I'm about to tell you the story of how I learned the hardest lesson of my life. Never build a man who doesn't see your worth. This is not a revenge story. This is a reclamation story. And if you've ever loved someone more than you loved yourself, you will understand every single thing I did. I met Ebuka Nwosu when I was 27 years old, and he was 25. I was already doing well for myself, working as a senior accountant at a bank in Lagos, living in my own apartment in Lekki, driving my Honda Accord. Life was good, but it felt incomplete. Then Ebuka walked into my branch one Tuesday afternoon. He was handsome, yes, tall, dark skin, bright smile. But what caught me was his ambition. He talked about his dreams like they were already real, how he wanted to finish his university degree, start his own logistics business, make his mother proud. I just need a chance, he told me on our third date. One chance to show the world what I can do. I looked at this man and I saw potential. I saw a king. I saw us. So I gave him that chance. I paid his school fees at the University of Lagos every semester for 3 years. 200,000 naira here, 250,000 there. His textbooks, his project materials, even pocket money, so he could focus on his studies instead of doing menial jobs. My friends thought I was crazy. Shede, why are you doing this for a man? My friend Amaka asked me. What if he leaves you after he graduates? I laughed. Ebuka is different. He loves me. We're building together. Building. That was my favorite word back then. When Ebuka graduated with second-class upper honors, I was the proudest woman in that auditorium, more proud than his own mother, because I knew what it took. I knew the sacrifices inside life.
After graduation, Ebuka couldn't find a good job. The Nigerian economy was hard on everyone, especially young graduates. "Baby, I have an idea," he said to me one evening. "Logistics. I want to start a logistics company. Just small, maybe 2 vehicles to start." I didn't even hesitate. I took a loan from my bank, 3 million naira. I used my savings, another 2 million. Together, we bought 2 Toyota Hiace buses and registered his company, EBNO Logistics. The EB is for Ebuka, and the now is because our time is now, he explained, so excited he could barely sit still. I smiled. "What about the shade in the name?" He laughed and kissed my forehead. "Baby, you know you're already in my heart. The business is ours, but the papers, they had only his name. It's easier for business registration," he explained. "You know how Nigeria is. We'll arrange it later." Later never came. Within 2 years, EBNO Logistics was thriving. We expanded to 6 vehicles. Ebuka was making good money. He moved from his 1-room apartment in Ikotun to a nice 2-bedroom flat in Surulere. But I was still paying off the loan I took to start his business. "Don't worry, baby," he'd say. "Once we stabilize, I'll pay you back everything, with interest, I promise." Then his mother called. "Shade, my daughter," Mama Nwosu said on the phone. "God will bless you. You have been so good to my son, but I need to ask you something." My heart sank. I already knew. "Our family house in the village is falling apart," she continued. "The roof leaks when it rains. The walls have cracks. Shade, I'm getting old. I just want a decent house before I die." What could I say? This was Ebuka's mother, the woman who would be my mother-in-law, the woman who raised the man I loved. I built the house. 4 bedrooms, modern kitchen, tiled floors, painting, furniture, everything. It cost me 7 million naira. I sold my Honda Accord. I emptied my fixed deposit account. I took another loan. But when I saw Mama Nwosu's face at the house dedication ceremony, when I saw Ebuka standing there with tears in his eyes, saying, "Shade, you are an angel God sent to this family," I felt it was worth it. I was 33 years old. We'd been together for 6 years. Still no ring, but I wasn't worried.
After we settle down properly, we'll do the traditional marriage. Ebuka always said, I want to do it right. Big celebration. I want to make you proud. I believed him. Inside Lifeful.
I first heard about Funke from Ebuka's younger sister, Chinwe. Sister Shade, I don't know how to tell you this, Chinwe said nervously when she visited me. But there's this girl that's been coming to the office. Young girl. She's always around my brother. My chest tightened. What do you mean always around? I asked Ebuka, and he said she's just an intern. But Sister Shade, the way he looks at her, the way he talks to her, it's not professional. I confronted Ebuka that evening. Baby, Chinwe is overreacting. He laughed. Funke is just 23 years old. She's a youth corps member I'm helping. You know how I like to give opportunities to young people? The same way you gave me a chance. That comparison stung, but I let it go. I wanted to trust him. I needed to trust him. But the signs became impossible to ignore. He stopped spending weekends with me. Always had business trips to Port Harcourt, to Abuja, to Enugu. He stopped posting me on social media, deleted all our photos, and said it was because business people needed to keep their private life private. Then one Saturday morning, I went to surprise him at his apartment in Surulere. I used my spare key to enter. The bedroom door was closed. I heard laughter, a young woman's voice. I opened that door. There was Ebuka, in our bed, the bed I bought for him, with his small-built, light-skinned girl, who looked like she just finished secondary school. Shade! Ebuka jumped up, naked and pathetic. The girl grabbed the bedsheet, her eyes wide with shock. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, watching my 6 years crumble in front of me. Baby, I can explain, Ebuka started. Explain what? My voice was calm. Too calm. Explain why this child is in our bed. She's not a child. Funke is 23, and I'm 35, I said. Which makes me what? An old woman? Ebuka couldn't look at me. That told me everything. I left that apartment and went straight to a bar. I sat there drinking Chapman and crying until Amaka came to pick me up. Leave him, Amaka said simply. Just leave him, Shade. He doesn't deserve you. But I wasn't ready. Not yet. I wanted to hear it from him. I needed closure. 2 weeks later, Ebuka came to my house. He looked tired, older somehow. Shade, we need to talk. I'm listening. He sat down, hands clasped together. I've been thinking about us, about everything, and I don't think we should continue. The words hit me like a slap, even though I'd been expecting them. Why? I asked. You're 35, Shade. I'm 33. I want children, many children. And at your age, the doctors say it becomes risky. Funke is young. She can give me the family I want. I laughed. Actually laughed. So this is what this is about. You're trading me in for a younger model. Don't make it sound like that, he said, defensive. Shade, you've done so much for me. I'm grateful. I'll never forget what you did. But I have to think about my future, my lineage, my family name. The family name I helped build? My voice rose. The business I funded? The house I built for your mother? The degree I paid for? That family? And I'll always be grateful. I don't want your gratitude. I stood up. I want what I invested. I want my money, my time, my youth back. Shade, be reasonable. Reasonable? You want to talk about reasonable? I was shaking now. Get out. Get out of my house before I do something we'll both regret. He left. Just like that. 6 years. Gone.
I didn't sleep that night. I lay in my bed staring at the ceiling, and I made a decision. If Ebuka wanted to discard me like trash, fine. But he wasn't keeping the empire I built. I started early Monday morning. First stop, the house in the village. Mama Nosu was shocked when she opened the door and saw me with a contractor and 3 laborers. Shade, what is happening? Mama, I'm sorry, I said, and I meant it. But I built this house with my money, my sweat. And since your son has decided I'm too old to be part of this family, I'm taking back what's mine. You cannot destroy my house. It's not your house, Mama. Check the receipts. Check the land documents. Everything is in my name. I made sure of that. It took us 4 hours. We didn't destroy everything. I'm not a monster. But we removed the roofing sheets, the windows, the doors, the tiles, the kitchen cabinets, everything valuable. We loaded them into trucks and left. Mama Noso called Ebuka crying. He called me screaming, "Shit, have you gone mad? You destroyed my mother's house." I took back what I paid for, I said calmly. You want to know what's mad? Spending 7 million naira on a house for a family that calls you too old. I'll sue you. With what evidence? Every receipt has my name. Every payment came from my account. Sue me, Ebuka. Let's go to court. Let's tell the judge how you used me. He hung up. Next, I went to EBN Now Logistics. I walked into that office like I owned it, because in many ways I did. Pack up the documents for vehicles 001 and 002. I told the accountant, I'm taking them. Ma'am, I can't do that without Oga's permission. I slammed the loan documents on the desk. Do you see this? I bought those vehicles. My name is on the original purchase agreement. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Get the papers. Within an hour, I drove out of that compound with both Toyota Hiace buses, Ebuka's first vehicles, his foundation. He called me again. This time he was crying. Shade, please, you are destroying everything I worked for. We worked for, I corrected, but you forgot the we part when you brought Funke into the picture. I'll give you back your money. I don't want your money anymore, Ebuka. I want you to feel what I felt. I want you to know what it's like to build something and watch.
That was 8 months ago. Today, I'm 35 years old. Still single, still healing. I sold those buses and used the money to start my own business, a financial consulting firm for women entrepreneurs. I called it Reclaim Consulting. Ebuka, his logistics company is struggling. Without those first 2 vehicles, he couldn't meet some contracts. He had to downsize. I heard Funke left him 3 months ago when the money started getting tight. Guess 23-year-old love isn't as strong when the bank account is empty. Mama Nosu's house still has no roof. I sent her money quietly through Chinwe to fix it. Not for Ebuka, but because she's still someone's mother. But I made sure Ebuka never knew. People ask me if I regret what I did. Some call me wicked, some call me a hero. I call myself a woman who learned her worth the hard way. Here's what I know now. You can love someone and still lose yourself. You can be generous and still be taken advantage of. You can build an empire for someone, but if they don't value you, that empire means nothing. I don't regret loving Ebuka. I regret not loving myself more. To every woman watching this, build yourself first. Support your partner, yes. Lift them up, absolutely. But never ever make yourself small so someone else can feel big. Never pour from an empty cup. Never accept gratitude when you deserve partnership. And if someone tells you you're too old, too much, too anything, believe them. Then take your crown and walk away. My name is Shady Okafor. I'm 35 years old. I'm not too old. I'm just getting started. For every woman who built someone who broke her heart, this story is for you. You are not too old. You are not too much. You are enough. Now go reclaim your throne. Thanks for watching. Please do come back for more.